Mr. Elemo, you are outside the country. You heard him saying that we need to work on the mentality of Nigerians to ensure that we appreciate some of the things being done by this administration. The president described the removal of fuel subsidy and the FX unification as a bold and necessary steps to be put in place. Now, what would you say to some Nigerians, because we cannot take that off, who are still complaining seriously about some of the policies of this administration for the past 2 years now?
Well, there's no doubt about the fact that these policies have had grave implications on the life and livelihoods of the people. I mean, let's not try to downplay the implications that these policies has had and is still having on the lives and livelihoods of the people. And those complaints are very, very valid. And for instance, look at what was the inflation rate when the president took over in 2023. You had inflation. In 2022, before the president took over, you had inflation at around 18%. In 2023, inflation moved to about 24%. In 2024, it jumped to 33%, given the reforms that the president initiated. At 33%, you can imagine what that would have had, the implications that would have been on the disposable income, youth unemployment, poverty. And then in 2025 now, we can see that, for instance, as April, the inflation number is now slowing down a little bit from 24% to now 23.7%. So the president has mentioned that we should expect that inflation will slow down further. But also is that you see how government is also making an attempt. For instance, unemployment, we had to rebase the numbers, and that sort of clouds people's judgment as to the reality that we have on the ground. And like I mentioned earlier, you also have certain positive initiatives that the president has introduced. For instance, look at the NEL Fund initiative. I understand that about 500,000 university tertiary students have been reached with that.
Mm-hmm. Are you there, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you there, sir?
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I want us to move on to, I know that you mentioned youth, something about youth inclusion and everything. I want to talk about youth inclusion in politics. Do you think that the president has really succeeded in bringing more young people into politics and governance?
Well, I believe that question is for me, right?
Yes, Mr. Elemo.
Oh, okay. So, well, I think in that regard, I wouldn't say, I mean, I wouldn't want to touch as to whether the president has included more people in politics. Well, but in terms of governance, I think we still have issues around inclusive participation in governance. And I'll give you an example. I mean, we had the Nigeria Accountability Summit in 2024, and we did, identify certain issues around the priority areas of the president. And, the president has 8 priority areas. And we had stakeholders, come to discuss many of the issues in each of the priority areas of the president. And in some of the insights that emerged from that summit, we had the summit for 2 days, last October, about 1,500 people participating. We had more than 32 speakers, 8 breakout sessions, 4 headline sessions. It was a robust conversation we had. And some of the insights that emerged from that summit are that, the governance architecture in the country is not inclusive enough to allow people, particularly young people and vulnerable groups, to participate in, for instance, how budgets are designed, how procurements are executed, how audits are implemented, how several initiatives of government are carried out. And also some of the insights that emerge from there, where the fact that we needed to strengthen institutional frameworks for accountability, align budgetary allocations with the needs of the people. And I mean, some of our colleagues, recently looked at the 2025 budget, for instance, and you could see how, insertions went into the budget. Whether that reflects the needs of the people is another thing entirely. So we need to look at these things. Why the president has initiated certain positive reforms that are now pushing the country in the right direction, which I acknowledge. I also feel that there are still gaps in many areas that the president and his team will have to look at if we must consolidate on the gains, for the next 2 years.
Mr. Elemo, you'll be providing solutions to some of these gaps, as you've said, when making those points. But let me quickly put you on the pulse at the moment. Let me come to Dr. Adebayo. Let's talk a bit about security. The president said in that statement